Hello, my friends. Let's start with the situation along the front line. In the Kherson direction, the occupiers, despite their efforts yesterday, couldn't push the Ukrainian Armed Forces out of the foothold in Krynky. Therefore, today, they decided to unleash everything possible on this front and intensified shelling. At the same time, attacks on the right bank and on Kherson continue. Whether they will be able to achieve any results will be known in the coming days. However, the Russians openly state that they have a task to clear the left bank from the Ukrainian Armed Forces by the end of this month. And for this purpose, they will even provide additional mobile units. Russians are calming themselves today by claiming that the Ukrainian Armed Forces cannot expand the foothold and move towards Crimea. Perhaps this was planned initially.
According to the situation in the evening of July 1, 24 in the area of Krynky. No change. Oncoming rifle battles continue. The number of our assault operations has significantly decreased. But today, our guys were helped a little by helicopters with their NASAs. There is a sense of calm, which has been facilitated by a decrease in the intensity of hostilities. This became especially noticeable when our aviation stopped working on the bridgehead in the village of Krynky by FABs with UMPK. After the aerospace forces stopped helping us in eliminating the bridgehead, it became clear to everyone that it was not realistic to eliminate the bridgehead with the help of attack aircraft alone. This was even noted by enemy British intelligence.
Let's wait and see how events unfold, because no one knows Zaluzhny's plans for this direction. Foreign analysts claim that in the coming months, when the Ukrainian Armed Forces receive F-16s, Ukraine may launch an offensive on Crimea from these footholds. According to reports from the Ukrainian foothold on the left bank of Krynky to Crimea, it's only about 60 kilometers. Crimea remains one of Russia's problematic areas. Currently, the Ukrainian army is actively destroying air defense and radar stations there. Partially, this can be agreed upon, as this front section is not fortified like the Zaporizhzhia direction or any other. There are no strong defense lines here. So, with the right distribution of forces, resources, and competent command, the operation can be successful. So, let's see how events will unfold. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the occupiers couldn't break through in the Robotyne area. Therefore, today they decided to advance near Verbove. Artillery is operating near the settlement of Robotyne, attempting to destroy Ukrainian Armed Forces positions. Over the past day, the front line remains unchanged. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers couldn't break through in the Avdiivka area, and today all attacks have ceased. Shelling is ongoing along the entire front line. No changes have been recorded over the day. In the Avdiivka direction, intense battles are taking place. Over the day, the Russians have conducted 16 attacks. Most of the fighting is happening in the areas of Bakhmut and the coke and chemical plant. Near Stalemate, the occupiers couldn't break through, and today they are only conducting shelling. In the industrial zone, the occupiers are doing so well that after a Ukrainian Armed Forces counterattack, they have to retreat to the captured territory and battles continue there. This indicates a clear advantage on the side of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the successful destruction of the Russians continues. On the southern flank, attempts to capture Pervomayske and Nevelske persist. Globally, in this direction, it's evident that the Russians are not achieving success. Over the day, the front line remains unchanged, although the battles continue. It seems that the Russians are stuck here for a while, and their mid-grind is in full swing. In the Bakhmut direction, the Russians attempted to capture Chasiv Yar, but were unsuccessful. Even in Bohdanivka, they have no success as before. Today, shelling of Ukrainian Armed Forces positions is reported in the railway area, where they couldn't break through days ago. Shelling is also ongoing in the Georgievka area. There is a possibility that they will try to bypass Bohdanivka again. Shelling is taking place in the Klishivka area, but on the contrary, battles have resumed in the Avdiivka area. Occupiers have been trying for a long time to break through here, suffering losses each time and retreating to their former positions. For now, only one attack has been recorded over the day. So it's evident that the Russians have lost too many reserves, and now there is an accumulation. In the Siversk direction, the situation remains unchanged, with shelling but no offensive actions. However, in the Kreminna area, what the intelligence was talking about has begun. Occupiers, mobilizing troops and equipment, started storming the village of Terny. They conduct massive shelling of Yampolivka and Terny, breaking through with several groups. So we await the outcome of these battles. The situation is currently complex. It's evident that they decided not to spread their forces across the entire front line, but chose to strike selectively to achieve some results. However, as of today, the Ukrainian Armed Forces have successfully repelled 3 attacks, and the battles continue. In the area of Svatove, the situation remains tense, with sporadic shelling reported in Berestove, but no new offensive actions have been identified. In the Kupiansk direction, the occupiers have failed in all their offensive attempts, and today only shelling is recorded along the entire front line. We are waiting for them to complete their next repositioning and launch another offensive. The Ukrainian Armed Forces are ready to continue defeating them. Meanwhile, in the United States, deliberations continue on whether to assist Ukraine. A former CIA director has urged not to cease financial support.
So I think that we will see our Congress come together. As you know, there is a bipartisan majority, very strong in the Senate and also quite substantial in the House, that wants to provide the additional authorization and appropriations for Ukraine. It's the dynamics within the House that make this difficult, in effort to also extract from the administration some agreements on the policies for immigration and so forth. And I think this will get resolved. The question is when, and how much longer does Ukraine go before we can really turn back on the spigots? Having already provided a very substantial amount, $44 billion is not trivial, but that's very affordable. Keep in mind that's across a 2-year period in which we had a defense budget in aggregate of $1.7 trillion, 2 years, of course, of that. That's very affordable. It's very necessary. In my view, this is as right versus wrong as it gets, a brutal, unprovoked invasion of a sovereign country right on NATO's borders. And we should have no question that if Russia succeeds there, if Putin is able to achieve his very substantial objectives in Ukraine, that it won't stop there. Moldova will be the next in the crosshairs, or perhaps one of the Baltic states, or some others. And so we need, Henry Kissinger, before he passed away, stated that NATO's defense now begins at the border between Ukraine and Russia, and I strongly agree with that.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.